Quiet on set. We have Miss Lauren B.K. Watler.
Hey.
Yes, how are you?
I'm good.
You good?
Mm-hmm.
Good. All right, state your name and where you from, where you reside now.
Okay, I'm Lauren B.K. Watler. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and I currently live in Southeast D.C.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What years did you go to college?
I went to pre-college in 2004, and then I graduated in 2008.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was your major?
So I came in as a broadcast journalism major, and then I switched to sociology. So I graduated with a sociology degree.
Okay. And what do you do now?
I'm currently an educator. I teach 6th grade science at a charter school in DC.
Ooh, nice. All right. So, what was your experience with New Face Entertainment back in the good old days, as they say?
My experience to be a part of New Face Entertainment was very unique. I was class president of my class, Onyx 7 was up, Hampton. And literally I would sell tickets for different events. I want to say the year prior, the step show was like a big thing. So the next year, when it was my year, my freshman year, I had to sell all the tickets. And I want to say at that time, I was simultaneously selling tickets for like the step show, all our freshman week stuff, and New Face as well. So yeah, I started from freshman year. And it's so funny because when I really think about it, I wasn't going to meetings, I wasn't doing things of that nature, but New Face allowed me to like see something in me, like hustle, like a kind of grind and ask people questions and be able to like connect people in a way that I never did before until New Face.
Okay, so listen to what other people were talking about and getting their experiences. What would you say from like the beginning, like when New Face was kind of in the embryo stages? What would you say like the difference is from what you see then to from what you heard about what they do to what you did back then?
I think it allowed me to be like more solution focused. Like if there was a problem, I just nipped it in the bud and I like moved on. Like I didn't like try to like stand on something for too long. I would ask questions. I would talk to people. Yo, you want to go to this party? Or your friend you don't want to go to a party by yourself. You want to make sure you bring someone else. Like always being willing to ask a question. And if someone says no, they say no. Because in the beginning, it wasn't like, it was out there, but it wasn't as big. I want to say by my junior year, it was like parties around the corner, like tickets selling out first week. But in the beginning stage, I had to really like go from dorm to dorm. Or hit somebody up. Facebook had just came out, like, right? My freshman year. So it wasn't like I just put a status on Facebook and I could say, meet me in my dorm and buy tickets. No, I had to like be out in the crowd and be with the people, go to the big cab, go to the small cab, go to the track table, right? To make sure I could really hit all networks of people. And people were about it. They were about it because they knew Yancy, they knew who you were, they wanted to support. And it was a buzz. It was like a word on the street, so people wanted to be a part of it.
And as college students, we were all in college at the time. What do you think that the difference is from like us doing it as college students and then seeing like basically like adults doing it for college students? Like, what would you say the difference would be?
I think it was a level of respect, a level of connection. Like you're my peer, like getting it right. Like you weren't doing it by yourself. Like you were inspiring, getting other people involved. Because anybody could sell tickets for themselves, but you knew you needed a team. So you literally built a team around. You had certain people in Greek organization, you had certain people in sorority, you had certain people that were like in leadership programs, and like all these different facets of the campus were involved. And what kept them connected was New Face. So literally, that's what it did for me.
All right. So as an educator now, what do you see the differences like between kids now and what we were back then, as far as like being able to talk to them and educate them on how to be motivated? Like,
I think many people with social media today, many people have a lot of ideas, and Black people as a whole have a lot of gifts and talents, but many people don't share their visions with other people. And I feel like New Face allowed me to like have an idea, come to you with the idea, yo, I think we should do so and so. And if you were for it, you were for it. If you needed more, you would ask me, you would literally like make me decide what else we needed to do to make it happen. And I feel like kids today, there's so many things like that are given, that sense of hungry or dedication or the time that it takes. Everybody want a quick fix, and it's like the process takes some time. So like ideas don't manifest, like seeds don't grow if you don't literally like get other people involved in your idea. So I would say that's a little difference today. Like I always like push my students to advocate for themselves, right? Like if you know something in your gut isn't right, speak up for yourself because you don't know who else feels that same way, right? So I feel like that's a little disconnect, but more adults and more like community activists and people involved, your nieces, your nephews, let them know, like, listen, if you feel some kind of way, say it. If you have questions, ask it, because you never know who else feels that same way. So I think that's a little bit of the difference between my generation, the millennials, and like students today.
And they seem to have a lot of ideas, you said, but
yes.
As far as implementing, what do you think like the barriers as far as them?
I think people think they could post something on social media and it sells. Where like we came from an era that there was no social media, right? Like I think I came to college, I think my cell phone was off because my bill was too high. Like my mom said, I'm not paying that joint. Yeah. So I literally had to like find a way to pay my cell phone bill for my cell phone to be on while I was in college. Where kids now, it's like your parents are paying your bill every month, like paying the installment fee, all of that. So you don't even know what it is to like keep your cell phone on. It's like a natural thing where I feel like when parents instill those things in their children, knowing that like when you want something, you gotta go get it. Like people are not about to give you everything that you want. And it's okay when people say no, because somebody else gonna say yes if you believe in that.
How do students, from your experience, how do students feel? Because you not only taught in the DC area, where else did you teach?
It's my 10th year in education.
Okay.
I did Teach for America in 2008. I taught in New Orleans for 3 years. I've taught in Virginia. Now I teach in DC. So I've taught many different places. But today is totally different than when I first started.
Okay.
Yeah, very different.
So how do they feel about going away to college or
Well, you know what? My first year teaching, I took my students to Dillard and Xavier. And I remember setting up that college tour, and the school's telling me they're too young. And I was saying, like, you're never too young. Fifth grade, okay. 10, 11, like, they're too young. And I was like, no, my kid's about to come here. Like, I want my kids to get this. They live across the street, they live in the neighborhood, but they've never seen the school. And when they got there, the people were so fascinated by how well behaved they were. They were like, man, they're so good. Where are you from? It's like, nah, they from down the street, right? Uptown, Third Ward, right? And they couldn't believe it, but it's like when you get kids exposed to those things, they want it. They're intrigued by it. And then I want to say maybe a few years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I took my kids to Hampton. And that's when I was teaching in Virginia. And they loved it because I was able to make...
and they were 5th grade too?
5th grade too.
Okay.
And that's my favorite grade.
Okay.
And I was able to take them, which was a phenomenal experience because I was a student leader. I was able to get like a different kind of tour, right? Like the stuff that kids want to see. The kids want to see Greeks on the Yard. The kids want, and it don't have to be high school day. It don't have to be 12 to 2 in the student center, right? So the kids got a different kind of tour. They were able to go to the journalism building and sit at the podium and like really speak on the camera and like go to all the different, they went to Ogden Circle, like, nope, don't step on that grass, don't step on the grass, right? It's like all those things they've never been exposed to. But once you show them the way, they love it. They want to be a part of it.
All right, so if you were to take a moment to just talk to, I know you did with 5th grade, but to talk to basically about 6 or 7 years, 8 years from then, when they become seniors, what message would you have for them going into college or thinking about going to college? What would you want to tell them?
I would tell them, especially minorities, I would tell them go get it, and I would tell them to go to HBCU. Like I feel like educated blacks feel like they have to go to an Ivy League, or like Hampton University is an Ivy League in my book. And it definitely molds you in a different way that you could never even think of. Like to be around black people from different socioeconomic backgrounds, like different areas of the country. Like, people used to just go on once a year from California. That was like fascinating to me. I was just getting on a China bus and go to Brooklyn like nothing. But they wanted to go to HBCU, so they sacrificed. Their family sacrificed, and it's like an experience like no other. So I would really, really push high school students, like, don't wait. Like this, we're in a time and era where like you can't wait till your junior year to get it. Like you have to be on a fast course. By freshman year, there's some students who are going into college now with 60 credit hours. Right. 60. They're going in like halfway done. Taking all the AP classes, getting in for the low. So their parents is like, tuition now for him is $40,000. So they're really saving a lot by like being aggressive and being hungry.
Coming from New York, because we're both from New York, and going down to Virginia, you obviously get homesick. You know, you want to go back home. So for that, the college freshman who may want to go back home but feel like, you know what, I'm done with this. What would you say to that person?
I would say like, in order to grow, you have to change like certain things. I'm not saying forget where you come from, but like just changing your environment allows you to grow in ways that you can't even imagine. Like build relationships with people that are not from your neighborhood, right? New York is a special place too because you can live in a neighborhood and not go to school with people in your neighborhood, right? Where other people that come from other parts of the country, they might go to the same elementary, same middle school, same high school with the same people, right? When you go to college, you're exposed to different people from different places, and y'all really have the same goals in mind, and you connect with people in your major, you connect with people in social groups that you want to connect with, and you choose to. Like you're really, you make the decisions where you come from. When you're in high school and stuff, you really like reaching out to your parents to make decisions. I feel like college, especially away, allows you to tap more into you instead of tapping into everyone else.
Good. All right. Well, thank you very much.
No problem.
Thank you for your time.
No problem.
Lauren B.K. Wilder, everybody.